Marriage is just paperwork. That's what my wife Beth said at the Hendersons' barbecue last Saturday, 3 beers deep and laughing like she just cracked the Da Vinci Code. I remember standing there with my lukewarm Bud Light, watching her charm the entire neighborhood with that line and thinking, perfect, you'll appreciate it when I file it. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm Ray Parrish, 39 years old, co-owner of Parrish Electric, the company my dad built from nothing in this faded Rust Belt city we call home. Half the commercial buildings downtown have our wiring in them. The other half should. I've got 2 daughters, a 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, and a wife who apparently thinks our 15-year marriage is equivalent to a parking permit. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It started small. It always does, doesn't it? Little things you tell yourself don't mean anything because you're not the paranoid type. You're the guy who trusts people, the guy who believes in loyalty and family and all that Norman Rockwell garbage your mother hung on the walls growing up. Beth started working out more. Nothing wrong with that. She'd been saying she wanted to get back in shape since Bree was born 13 years ago. But suddenly she's at the gym 5 days a week, coming home showered and glowing, checking her phone constantly with this little smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Then came the girls' nights, every Thursday, sometimes Fridays too. Beth and her book club friends supposedly discussing whatever Oprah was pushing that month. Except one night I ran into Karen, Beth's supposed best friend, at the grocery store on a Thursday, and she was buying ingredients for a family dinner. When I mentioned Beth was at book club, Karen got this weird look on her face, like I just asked her to explain quantum physics. "Oh, right," she said. "Book club?" The way she said it made my stomach drop, but I pushed it aside. I'm not that guy. The suspicious husband who goes through his wife's phone like some insecure teenager. I had a business to run, daughters to raise, a life that didn't include paranoid delusions. Then I found the phone. It was a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays I always left work early to take Beau to soccer practice. I came home to grab her cleats from the mudroom, and Beth's purse was sitting on the kitchen counter, knocked over, contents spilled everywhere. Lipstick, receipts, gum wrappers, her regular iPhone in its rose gold case, and another phone, a cheap flip phone, the kind you buy at gas stations with prepaid minutes. I picked it up before I could stop myself. The screen lit up with a text notification. "Jay, can't wait to see you tonight. Same place." My hands started shaking. I scrolled through the messages, not many but enough. Enough to make my vision blur and my chest tighten like someone was standing on it. "Beth, he's taking Beau to practice. We have 2 hours. Jay, perfect. I've been thinking about you all day. Beth, me too. This is crazy. Jay, crazy good? We deserve this." I stood there in my own kitchen, holding evidence of my wife's affair, and the weirdest thought crossed my mind. I wondered if this was how people felt right before they had a heart attack. That surreal, out-of-body sensation where everything looks normal, but nothing will ever be normal again. The area code was local, not some random number from another state. Someone here, someone we knew. I heard Beth's car in the driveway. I had maybe 30 seconds. I took pictures of every message with my own phone, put the burner back exactly where I found it, and scooped everything back into her purse. When she walked in, I was sitting at the kitchen table, probably looking like I'd seen a ghost. "Hey, babe," she said, breezy as a spring morning. "Ready to take Beau?" "Yeah," I managed, just waiting for her to find her cleats. Beth grabbed her purse, checked it briefly, didn't notice anything amiss, and headed upstairs. I sat there, feeling like the floor had opened up beneath me, trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do next. That night, I couldn't sleep. Beth was next to me, breathing softly, probably dreaming about Jay, whoever the hell that was. I stared at the ceiling and ran through every Jay I knew. My brother John, my business partner Carl's son Jason, the guy who ran the coffee shop downtown, Jake something, John. The thought hit me like a freight train. My brother John, the golden boy, the smooth-talking charmer who'd always been just a little too competitive with me. The guy who tried to date Beth first, back in college, before she chose me instead. He'd laughed it off, said we were perfect together, been my best man at the wedding. I grabbed my phone and pulled up the photos I'd taken of the burner, scrolled back through the messages, looking for anything that would confirm or deny my suspicion. "Jay, your brother has no idea what he has." There it was. Your brother. I actually laughed. This bitter, hollow sound that made Beth stir beside me. My own brother. The guy I'd built a business with, trusted with my livelihood, invited to every family dinner and birthday party. The guy my daughters called Uncle John and climbed all over like a jungle gym. Marriage is just paperwork, Beth had said. Turns out so is a restraining order. But I wasn't ready to play that card yet, not even close. Because if there's one thing I learned from running a business in this town, it's that revenge is a dish best served with witnesses and documentation. Parish Electric's 30th anniversary party was scheduled for the following Saturday. 300 guests, half the business community, all our employees and their families. We'd rented out the Riverside Event Center, hired a caterer, even got a local band. It was supposed to be a celebration of everything my dad built, everything John and I had grown together. Instead, it became my opening move. I spent that week playing the perfect husband. Kissed Beth goodbye every morning, asked about her day, helped with homework, did the dishes. I watched her lie to my face with increasing ease, watched her check that burner phone when she thought I wasn't looking, watched her text my brother while sitting across from me at dinner. The rage was constant, this white-hot thing burning in my chest, but I kept it locked down. I smiled, I joked, I played my part. "You seem distracted," Beth said on Thursday night. We were in bed, her scrolling through Instagram, me pretending to read a thriller novel. The irony wasn't lost on me. "Just stressed about the party," I said. "Want everything to be perfect." She patted my leg absently. "It'll be great. You always overthink these things." I wanted to ask her if John would be there, if they'd planned some secret rendezvous in the bathroom or the parking lot, if she'd thought about our daughters at all while she was destroying our family. Instead, I said, "Yeah, you're probably right." The night before the party, I met with Carl Robertson, our operations manager. Carl had been with the company since my dad hired him 23 years ago. He was loyal, competent, and, most importantly, he couldn't stand John. "I need you to do something for me," I told him. We were in my office, door closed after everyone else had gone home. Carl leaned back in his chair, studying me. "This about your brother? How'd you know?" "Ray, I've worked here for 2 decades. I see things. John's been using company credit cards for personal expenses, taking 3-hour lunches, and I've seen the way he looks at Beth." My jaw clenched. "How long?" 6 months, maybe. I wasn't sure if you knew. Didn't want to cause problems if I was wrong." "You're not wrong?" I showed him some of the messages I'd photographed. Not all of them, just enough. Carl's face went dark. "That son of a—" "Tomorrow night," I interrupted. "At the party. I need you to record something for me." I laid out the plan. Carl listened, nodding slowly, a grim smile spreading across his face. "About damn time someone knocked John down a peg," he said. The Riverside Event Center looked perfect. White lights strung across the ceiling, round tables with centerpieces, a banner reading 30 Years of Excellence. Our employees mingled with clients, everyone in business casual, drinks flowing, laughter echoing off the high ceilings. Beth wore a blue dress that hugged her curves, her hair done up, makeup perfect. She looked beautiful. She looked like a stranger. "You clean up nice," I told her, and meant it. That was the thing. I still loved her. Even knowing what I knew, even planning what I was planning, some stupid part of me still loved the woman I'd married 15 years ago. She kissed my cheek. "So do you. Try to relax tonight, okay? Enjoy it." John arrived fashionably late, as always. Tailored suit, expensive watch, that megawatt smile that made clients trust him and women blush. He found me by the bar, clapped me on the shoulder. "Hell of a party, little brother. Dad would be proud." "Thanks for coming," I said, shaking his hand, squeezing just a little too hard. His smile flickered. I watched them all night. The stolen glances. The way Beth laughed too hard at John's jokes. The way he found excuses to touch her arm, her back. Always casual, always brief. They thought they were being subtle. They weren't. Around 9 o'clock, I took the stage to give a speech. Standard stuff. Thanking everyone, talking about my dad's legacy, looking toward the future. People applauded. Beth beamed at me from the front table. John raised his glass. "I want to thank my brother John," I said, looking right at him. "My partner in this business. The guy I've trusted with everything." More applause. John stood, nodded, soaking it in. "Family's everything," I continued. "Loyalty, trust. Those are the values my dad built this company on. Values I still believe in." Beth was smiling, but something in my tone must have registered because her smile looked strained. "Which is why," I said, "I want to announce some changes going forward." The room went quiet. This wasn't part of the planned speech. Effective immediately, I'll be taking over as sole CEO. John will be transitioning to a consultant role. The silence was deafening. John's face went white, then red. He stood up. "Ray, What the hell? It's already been approved by the board, I said calmly, including Mom's vote. My mother Ruth controlled 40% of the company shares. I'd spent the last 3 days convincing her this was necessary, showing her evidence of John's financial irregularities. Not the affair, she didn't need to know that yet, just enough to make her agree. You can't, John started. I did. Enjoy the party, everyone. I stepped off the stage. The room erupted in whispers. Beth grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. What are you doing? She hissed. Business decision, I said. Nothing personal. John stormed over, face purple with rage. You backstabbing piece of... Careful, I said quietly. Everyone's watching. He looked around, realized I was right, and lowered his voice. We're going to talk about this. Sure. Monday morning, my office. He stalked off. Beth followed him with her eyes, then looked at me like she'd never seen me before. Ray, that was your brother, your partner. I know who he is. I smiled at her, cold and empty. Marriage is just paperwork, right? So is a corporate restructuring. Her face went pale. Carl found me 20 minutes later, phone in hand. Got it all, he said, just like you wanted. I'd asked him to follow Beth and John, knowing they'd need to talk after my announcement. Sure enough, Carl had caught them in a side hallway, Beth crying, John comforting her, both of them saying things they shouldn't have. John. He doesn't know. He can't know. Beth. Then why is he doing this? John. Because he's always been jealous. Always needed to prove he's better than me. Beth. What if he finds out about us? John. He won't. We've been careful. I watched the video 3 times. Each time, the rage burned hotter, but my hands stayed steady. What are you going to do with it? Carl asked. Not yet, I said, but soon. The party wound down. People congratulated me, some confused, some supportive. John left without saying goodbye. Beth was quiet on the drive home, staring out the window. You embarrassed him, she finally said. Did I? In front of everyone. That was cruel, Ray. I almost laughed. Cruel, that's an interesting word choice. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, I'm tired. Long night. At home, I went straight to bed. Beth stayed downstairs, probably texting John on her burner phone, probably planning their next move. Let them plan. I was 10 steps ahead. Sunday morning, I filed for divorce. I'd already met with a lawyer, the best in the city, a shark named Patricia Hendricks, who'd handled some of the nastiest splits in town. She'd reviewed everything, the messages, the financial records showing John's misuse of company funds, the timeline of Beth's lies. You want to destroy them, Patricia had said. It wasn't a question. I want justice. Justice is expensive and messy. I don't care. She'd smiled. Good. Let's get started. The papers were served Monday morning. Not at home, where Beth could process privately. Not at a lawyer's office, where it would be professional and clean. At the PTA meeting, Beth was there with the other mothers, planning the spring fundraiser, probably enjoying her double life. The process server walked right up to her, said her name loud enough for everyone to hear, and handed her the envelope. Elizabeth Parrish, you've been served. The room went silent. Beth's face cycled through confusion, shock, horror. She opened the envelope with shaking hands, read the first page, and looked up at the other mothers staring at her. I need to go. She practically ran out. Within an hour, my phone was blowing up. Beth calling, texting, leaving voicemails that went from confused to angry to desperate. I didn't answer. I was at the office meeting with John. He came in ready for a fight, but stopped when he saw Patricia sitting in my office. What's this? Sit down, John. I'm not... Sit. Down. Something in my voice made him comply. Patricia slid a folder across the desk. What's this? He asked again. Evidence of financial misconduct, I said. Unauthorized use of company credit cards. Personal expenses charged to business accounts. 3 years' worth. John's face went white. You can't prove? We can. We have. Every receipt. Every transaction. You've stolen approximately $47,000 from this company. I'm a partner. I have a right... You have a salary and an expense account, Patricia interrupted, which you exceeded by $47,000. That's embezzlement. John looked at me. Really looked at me. You're serious. Completely. I'm your brother. I know. That makes it worse. He stood up, chair scraping. You're going to regret this. No, I said. I don't think I will. He left. Patricia gathered her files. He'll fight back, she said. Let him. That night, Beth came home while I was making dinner. The The girls were upstairs, music playing. She stood in the kitchen doorway, eyes red from crying. "Why?" she asked. I kept chopping vegetables. "You need me to spell it out? If this is about the party, about John's job..." "It's not." "Then what?" I turned to face her. "Marriage is just paperwork, Beth. You said so yourself. I'm just filing the forms." She stared at me. I could see her mind working, trying to figure out what I knew, what I'd found. "We can fix this," she said. "Whatever's wrong, we can..." "I found your phone." The blood drained from her face. "Ray, the burner phone, the texts, all of it." She opened her mouth, closed it. Tears started falling. "I can explain." "Don't." I held up my hand. "Don't insult me by trying to explain. You're sleeping with my brother. You've been lying to me for months. There's nothing to explain." "It just happened." "No. You made choices. Both of you. Every text, every meeting, every lie. Those were choices. I love you. You love what I provide. The house, the lifestyle, the respectability. But me? You stopped loving me a long time ago." She was sobbing now, mascara running. "What about the girls? What about them? You think they won't figure it out? You think they won't hate you for this? You can't turn them against me." "I don't have to. You did that yourself." I walked past her, headed upstairs. Behind me, I heard her collapse against the counter, crying harder. I felt nothing. That was the scariest part. I'd loved this woman for 17 years, dated for 2, married for 15, and now I felt absolutely nothing. Turns out betrayal doesn't break your heart. It freezes it. The gossip mill in our town was legendary. By Tuesday morning, everyone knew. Ray and Beth Parrish were getting divorced. John Parrish had been demoted. Something was happening at Parrish Electric, and speculation ran wild. The truth came out in pieces. Karen, Beth's book club friend, apparently had loose lips. She told someone who told someone who told everyone that Beth had been lying about book club for months, that she'd been sneaking around, that there was another man. By Wednesday, people had connected the dots. John Parrish, Beth Parrish, brother and sister-in-law. The scandal was delicious. I could see it in people's faces when they looked at me, pity mixed with morbid curiosity. Poor Ray. How humiliating. How could they? My daughters were another story. Bew, 15 and sharp as a tack, cornered me Wednesday night. "Is it true? About Mom and Uncle John?" I was in the garage, pretending to organize tools. Really, I was hiding. "Where'd you hear that?" "Everyone's talking about it. At school, online. Is it true?" I couldn't lie to her. "Yeah, sweetheart, it's true." Her face crumpled. How could she? "I don't know." "How could he?" "I don't know that either." She hugged me, something she hadn't done in months. 15-year-olds don't hug their dads much. "I'm sorry, Dad." "Not your fault. I hate them." "Don't. They're still your mom and your uncle. They just made bad choices. Really bad choices." "Yeah." Bree, 13 and more reserved, didn't say anything. She just stopped talking to Beth. Wouldn't look at her, wouldn't answer questions, nothing. The silent treatment from a 13-year-old is brutal. Beth tried. I'll give her that. She tried to explain, to apologize, to make the girls understand. But what could she say? "I fell in love with your uncle," wasn't exactly a winning argument. John, meanwhile, had lawyered up. His attorney, a guy named Marcus Webb, expensive suit and shark eyes, sent a letter threatening legal action if I didn't reinstate John's position and drop the embezzlement allegations. Patricia laughed when she read it. "He's desperate. This is all bluster." So we ignore it? We counter. Hard. She filed a formal complaint with the State Business Bureau, documenting every misused dollar. She also filed for a restraining order on Beth's behalf. Not against me, but against John, claiming he'd been harassing her. It was a lie, but it was strategic. It made John look predatory, like he'd seduced Beth against her will. Beth was furious when she found out, but there wasn't much she could do. The narrative was set. Poor Beth, manipulated by her husband's charming brother. I should have felt guilty. I didn't. The business took a hit. 2 major clients pulled their contracts, uncomfortable with the family drama. 3 employees quit, not wanting to be associated with the scandal. Carl worked overtime, keeping everything together, and I was grateful for him. "We'll survive this," he said one night, both of us in the office past midnight. "Company's strong, foundation's solid. Thanks for sticking around. Where else would I go? Besides, watching you dismantle John is the best entertainment I've had in years." I laughed. It felt good to laugh. Thursday night, John showed up at my house. I was alone. The girls were at my mom's. Beth was at her new apartment downtown. I'd changed the locks the day after serving papers. He pounded on the door. "Ray, open up." I looked through the peephole. He was drunk, swaying, face flushed. "Go home, John. Open the damn door." "No. We need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about." He kicked the door. "You're destroying my life. You destroyed mine first." "It wasn't like that. You don't understand." I opened the door but kept the security chain on. "Explain it to me then." He blinked, surprised I'd engaged. "It just happened. We didn't plan it." "You didn't plan to sleep with my wife?" "We fell in love, Ray. Real love. Not like what you two had." I almost hit him. My fist clenched and I had to force myself to breathe. What Beth and I had was a marriage, vows, commitment, family. "You were roommates. You barely talked. She was lonely." "So you fixed that? How noble." "You're twisting this. Get off my property." "Ray, get off my property." He stared at me, and for a second I saw something like regret in his eyes. Then it was gone, replaced by anger. "You're going to regret this," he said. "I'll make sure of it. Get in line." I closed the door, heard him swear, heard his car start, heard him peel out of the driveway. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Unknown. "Your brother's right. You'll regret this." I stared at it, took a screenshot, sent it to Patricia. Me. "Threats now. Escalating." Patricia. "Good. Let him dig his own grave. Friday, things got worse. Or better, depending on your perspective. Someone, I'm guessing Karen, but I never confirmed, leaked the affair to the local news. Not the big stations, but the community blog that everyone read. Local business partners in love triangle scandal." The article was vicious. It detailed everything. The affair, the divorce, John's demotion, the embezzlement allegations. It painted Beth and John as villains and me as the victim. My phone exploded. Friends calling, clients calling, reporters calling. I ignored most of it. Let Patricia handle the press. Beth called hysterical. "They're destroying me. Everyone hates me. Welcome to my world. This isn't fair." "Fair? You want to talk about fair? I made a mistake. You made 1,000 mistakes. Every day for months. I'm still the mother of your children." "Then act like it." I hung up. John's response was more calculated. He gave an interview to the same blog playing the victim. "Ray's always been jealous of me. This is his way of getting revenge for childhood grudges." It was pathetic and transparent. The comments section tore him apart. Comment user 1. "Sleeping with your brother's wife isn't a childhood grudge, dude." Comment user 2. "Imagine being this delusional." Comment user 3. "Team Ray all the way." Saturday morning, I took the girls out for breakfast. Just the three of us, away from the chaos. "Dad, are you okay?" Beau asked. We were at the diner, pancakes and bacon, trying to pretend everything was normal. "I'm fine, sweetie." "You don't seem fine." "I'm angry, but I'm fine." Bree spoke up, her first real words in days. "Are you going to hurt them?" "What? No, of course not." "Everyone's saying you're going to do something bad." "I'm not going to hurt anyone, I promise." "Then what are you going to do?" I looked at my daughters, their worried faces, and realized they needed the truth. "I'm going to make sure they face consequences. Real consequences. Not violence, not revenge, just accountability." "What does that mean?" Beau asked. "It means they made choices that hurt people. They need to own that." "Will they go to jail?" "I don't know. Maybe. For the money stuff, maybe." Bree nodded slowly. "Good." That afternoon, Carl called. "You need to see this." He sent me a video. Security footage from the office, dated 3 weeks ago. John and Beth in the conference room, late at night, clearly not working. "Where'd you get this?" "I've been checking the archives. Found a few more. Want me to send them?" "No, delete them." "What? Why?" "Because I'm not that guy. I'm not going to humiliate them with sex tapes, even if they are just making out. That's not who I am." Carl was quiet for a moment. "You're a better man than me." "I doubt that." But I meant what I said. I wanted John and Beth to face consequences, but I wasn't going to destroy their dignity completely. There were lines I wouldn't cross, even if they'd crossed every line with me. Monday morning, John's car wouldn't start. He called a tow truck, got it to the shop, and the mechanic found something interesting. Someone had filled the gas tank with sugar water. The car was totaled, engine destroyed. $15,000 in damage. John immediately accused me, called the police, filed a report, told anyone who'd listen that I'd sabotaged his car. Problem was, I hadn't. I had an alibi. I'd been at a business dinner with clients 30 miles away with a dozen witnesses. The police investigated, found nothing, and told John there was nothing they could do. But I knew who'd done it. Carl. I told you not to do anything, I said. We were in my office, door closed. Carl shrugged. You told you not to. Didn't say anything about me. Carl, he had it coming, and you can't be blamed. You were nowhere near his car. This is going to escalate things. Good. Let it escalate. I'm tired of watching him play victim. I wanted to be angry, but I couldn't. Part of me was glad someone had done something, even if it was petty and destructive. No more, I said. Seriously, no more stunts. Fine, but I'm not apologizing. John's paranoia went into overdrive. He accused me of everything. Slashing his tires, I didn't. Keying his new rental car, I didn't. Spreading rumors about him. Okay, I might have done that one. He started showing up at the office, demanding meetings, threatening lawsuits. Security had to escort him out twice. You need a restraining order, Patricia said. Against my own brother? Yes. He's harassing you, threatening you, disrupting your business. Get the order. I filed. The judge approved it. John was now legally required to stay 500 feet away from me and the office. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. Wednesday night, I went to the gym, my usual routine, trying to burn off stress. I was on the treadmill when John walked in. He shouldn't have been there. It was my gym, my membership. But there he was, walking straight toward me. We need to talk, he said. You're violating the restraining order. I don't care. People were staring. I stopped the treadmill, stepped off. You have 30 seconds before I call the cops. You ruined my life. You ruined mine first. I loved her. I still love her. Then you should have loved her before I married her, before we had kids, before you became part of our family. You don't understand. I shoved him. Not hard, but enough to make him stumble back. I understand perfectly. You wanted what I had. You always have. And when you couldn't have it, you took it anyway. He swung at me. Missed. I didn't swing back, just grabbed his arm, twisted, and put him on the ground. Years of wrestling in high school came back. Stay down, I said. He didn't. He got up, face red, and charged. I sidestepped, and he crashed into a weight rack. The gym staff intervened, pulled us apart. Someone had already called the police. John was arrested for violating the restraining order. I gave a statement, showed the officers the video footage from the gym's security cameras. He attacked you, the officer said. You were defending yourself. I know. You want to press charges? For the assault? No, just enforce the restraining order. John spent the night in jail. Beth bailed him out the next morning. The video went viral. Someone at the gym posted it online, me putting John on the ground, him charging like a bull, the staff breaking it up. The comments were brutal. Comment user 4. John Parrish is a joke. Comment user 5. Ray handled that like a boss. Comment user 6. This family is a reality show. I hated it. Hated the attention, the spectacle, the public nature of my private pain, but I also couldn't stop it. The story had taken on a life of its own. Friday, Beth showed up at my house. I'd just gotten home from work, was grabbing mail from the box. We need to talk, she said. No, we don't. Ray, please. This has gone too far. I agree. You and John took it too far. I'm trying to apologize. I don't want your apology. Then what do you want? I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I'd loved for 17 years. The mother of my children. The person I'd trusted more than anyone. I want you to leave me alone, I said. I want you to sign the divorce papers without a fight. I want you to let me have primary custody of the girls. And I want you to disappear from my life. I can't do that. Then we have nothing to talk about. I walked inside. She didn't follow. That weekend, I took the girls to my mom's house. Ruth Parrish was a force of nature, 65 years old, retired nurse, no nonsense, and fiercely protective of her family. She'd been devastated when I told her about Beth and John. Absolutely devastated. John was her firstborn, her golden boy, and learning he'd betrayed me had broken something in her. I don't understand, she said. We were in her kitchen, girls playing in the backyard. I raised him better than this. It's not your fault, Mom. He's my son. Of course it's my fault. He made his own choices. She looked at me, eyes wet. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. Don't do anything you'll regret. I won't. but I was lying. I already had a plan, and regret wasn't part of it. The Riverside Chamber of Commerce Award ceremony was the social event of the season. Black tie, 500 guests, all the city's business elite. Parish Electric was nominated for Business of the Year. We won. I accepted the award on stage, Patricia by my side. The applause was thunderous. People loved a comeback story, and I was definitely that. "Thank you," I said into the microphone. "This award means everything to me. My father started this company 30 years ago with nothing but a truck and a dream. He built it on values, integrity, loyalty, hard work." The crowd nodded approvingly. "Values I still believe in," I continued, "which is why I want to address something publicly." The room went quiet. Patricia tensed beside me. This wasn't in the script. "Many of you know my family's been going through a difficult time. My brother John and I have had a falling out. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of gossip." People leaned forward. This was better than any award. "I want to set the record straight. John Parrish embezzled $47,000 from our company. He used company funds for personal expenses, violated his fiduciary duty, and betrayed the trust our clients placed in us." Gasps, whispers. John, sitting at a table near the back, stood up. "That's a lie," he shouted. "It's documented," I said calmly. "Every transaction, every receipt. I've filed a formal complaint with the State Business Bureau. The evidence is public record. You're trying to destroy me." "No, John. You destroyed yourself." Security moved toward him. He looked around wildly, realizing everyone was staring. "He's lying. He's jealous. He's always been jealous. And," I continued, ignoring him, "he's been having an affair with my wife for the past 6 months. The room exploded. People talking over each other, cameras flashing, reporters scrambling for their phones. Beth, sitting with her parents, buried her face in her hands. John lunged toward the stage. Security caught him, held him back. "You bastard!" he screamed. "You self-righteous bastard!" "I'm done protecting you," I said. "I'm done covering for your mistakes. You wanted to play games? Congratulations. You won." They escorted him out. The crowd was in chaos. Patricia grabbed my arm. "That was not smart," she hissed. "I don't care. You just committed public defamation. With evidence. Every word I said is true and documented." She stared at me, then slowly smiled. "You planned this?" "Every second." The ceremony ended early. People swarmed me, some supportive, some horrified, all fascinated. I answered questions politely, then left. Outside, John was waiting by my car. "You're going to pay for this," he said. "Probably, but so are you. I'll sue you for everything. Go ahead. I've got better lawyers." He swung at me again. This time I let him. His fist connected with my jaw, and I went down hard. Security was there in seconds, pulling him away. He was screaming, incoherent, completely unhinged. I sat on the pavement, tasting blood, and smiled. Because now I had assault on camera, in front of 500 witnesses. John was arrested again. This time, bail was denied. He'd violated the restraining order twice, committed assault, and was deemed a flight risk. He spent a week in jail before his lawyer got him out. That week, everything fell apart for him. His clients dropped him. His friends stopped calling. His girlfriend, yes, he had a girlfriend separate from Beth, left him. His apartment building evicted him for unpaid rent. Beth didn't fare much better. Her parents disowned her publicly, took out an ad in the local paper saying they were ashamed and heartbroken. Her friends abandoned her. The PTA kicked her out. She lost her part-time job at the boutique downtown, lost her lease on the apartment, ended up moving into a motel on the highway. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I felt empty. "You got what you wanted," Patricia said. We were in her office, reviewing the final divorce papers. "Did I?" "John's facing criminal charges. Beth's destitute. You have full custody of the girls. The business is thriving. What more do you want?" "I want to not feel like this." "Like what?" "Like I'm drowning." She studied me. "Revenge doesn't heal, Ray. It just makes the pain public." "Then what does?" "Time, therapy, moving on." "I don't know how to move on." "You will, eventually." The divorce was finalized in March. Beth signed everything without a fight. She had no money for lawyers, no leverage, no options. I got the house, the cars, primary custody. She got supervised visitation every other weekend and a small settlement. Enough to get back on her feet, not enough to be comfortable. "Thank you," she said when we signed the papers, "for not leaving me with nothing." "I'm not a monster, Beth. I know. I'm sorry for everything." "I know." We didn't hug, didn't shake hands, just signed our names and walked away. John's trial was set for June. The evidence was overwhelming: bank records, credit card statements, witness testimony. His lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal, but I refused. I want a trial, I told Patricia. Why? He'll be convicted either way. Because I want it on record. I want everyone to see exactly what he did. That's vindictive. Yes, she sighed. Fine. We'll go to trial. The trial lasted 3 days. The prosecution presented $47,000 worth of evidence. Every fraudulent charge, every forged signature, every lie. John's defense was pathetic. He claimed he'd had permission, that it was a misunderstanding, that I was exaggerating. The jury didn't buy it. Guilty on all counts. Embezzlement, fraud, theft. The judge sentenced him to 18 months in prison and ordered him to pay full restitution. John broke down in court, sobbing, begging for mercy, claiming his life was ruined. The judge was unmoved. You had every advantage, Mr. Parrish. A successful business, a loving family, a good reputation. You threw it all away for greed and selfishness. The sentence stands. I watched them take him away in handcuffs. Felt nothing. Beth was in the courtroom. She'd testified for the prosecution, reluctantly, but she'd done it. Confirmed the affair, confirmed John's spending habits, confirmed everything. Afterward, she found me in the hallway. Are you happy now? She asked. No. Then why? Because he needed to face consequences. We both did. I've lost everything, Ray. My family, my friends, my home. Isn't that enough? I don't know. Is it? She stared at me, then walked away. I never saw her again after that. She moved to another state, Ohio, I think, to live with a cousin. The girls visited her twice, then stopped. They said it was too awkward, too painful. I didn't force them. They'd been through enough. Life slowly returned to normal, or a new version of normal. Parrish Electric recovered. We hired new people, landed new contracts, rebuilt our reputation. Carl became my official second-in-command. You should be proud, he said one day. We were on a job site, watching our crew install new wiring. Company's stronger than ever. Dad would be proud, I said. He'd be proud of you. I wasn't sure about that. My dad had been a good man, honest, kind, fair. I'd become something else, something harder. But maybe that was okay. Maybe that's what survival looked like. The girls adjusted. Therapy helped. Time helped more. Bew started dating a boy from her class. Nice kid, respectful, terrified of me. Bree joined the debate team and discovered she was brilliant at arguing. Wonder where she gets that, my mom said dryly. No idea, I replied. We had family dinners again, just the four of us, me, the girls, and Mom. We didn't talk about John or Beth. We talked about school, work, life. It was enough. 1 year after the divorce, I went on a date. A woman named Sarah, an accountant, introduced by a friend. She was smart, funny, kind. So, she said over dinner, I should probably mention I know who you are. Yeah? The whole town knows your story. Great. I'm not scared off, if that's what you're worried about. Should you be? She smiled. I don't think so. You seem like a good guy who got dealt a bad hand. I'm not sure I'm a good guy anymore. Why not? Because good guys don't destroy their brothers. Your brother destroyed himself. You just held him accountable. It was the kindest thing anyone had said to me in months. We dated for 6 months. It didn't work out. Not because of drama, just because we weren't right for each other, but it was nice. A reminder that life could be normal again. 2 years after the trial, John was released from prison. He moved to another state, Texas, I heard, and started over. New name, new life. I hoped he'd learned something. I doubted it. Beth reached out once via email, asked how the girls were. I responded politely, sent pictures. She thanked me. That was it. No reconciliation, no closure. Just two people who used to know each other, now strangers. 3 years later, I sold Parrish Electric. Got a great offer from a regional company, enough to retire comfortably and set up college funds for the girls. You're really done? Carl asked. We were in the office, packing up the last boxes. Yeah, time to move on. What are you going to do? I don't know. Travel, spend time with the girls, figure out who I am without this place. You're going to be bored. Probably. He hugged me. Thanks for everything, Ray. You saved this company. We saved it. Together. The night before the sale finalized, I stood in the empty office. 30 years of history, my father's legacy, my entire adult life. I thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the revenge, the destruction. Had it been worth it? I didn't know. But I knew this. I'd survived. My daughters had survived. We'd built something new from the ashes. And maybe that was enough? 5 years after the divorce, Bew graduated high school. Valedictorian, full scholarship to college. I sat in the audience, watching her give her speech, and felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Pride. Pure, uncomplicated pride. I want to thank my dad, she said from the podium, for showing me that strength isn't about never falling down, it's about getting back up. I cried. Right there in front of everyone, I cried. After the ceremony, both girls hugged me. We love you, Dad, Bree said. I love you too. Both of you. More than anything. We know, Bew said. We've always known. That night, alone in my house, I poured a glass of whiskey and sat on the back porch. I thought about Beth, about John, about everything we'd lost. I thought about revenge, about justice, about the price we all paid, and I thought about moving forward. The past couldn't be changed, the betrayals couldn't be undone, but the future was still unwritten. I raised my glass to the empty night. To new beginnings, I said, and I meant it. Epilogue. Thunder. 10 years after the divorce, I was living in Colorado. Small mountain town, quiet life, consulting work that kept me busy but not stressed. The girls were adults now. Bew was a lawyer. Ironic, considering. Bree was in medical school. Both successful, both happy, both still talking to me regularly. I'd dated a few women over the years. Nothing serious, nothing lasting. I was okay with that. One afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. Ray Parrish, a woman's voice asked. Speaking. This is Jennifer Michaels. I'm an attorney in Texas. I'm calling about your brother, John. My stomach dropped. What about him? He passed away last week. Heart attack. I'm handling his estate. I sat down. Okay. He left you something. A letter. I'm supposed to read it to you. Go ahead. She cleared her throat. Ray, if you're hearing this, I'm dead. Probably for the best. I've spent the last 10 years thinking about what I did to you. To Beth, to our family. I was a selfish bastard. I knew it then, and I know it now. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know I'm sorry for everything. You were a better brother than I ever was. You were a better man. I hope you found happiness. I hope the girls are okay. I hope you can let go of the anger someday. It'll eat you alive if you don't. I know, it ate me. Take care of yourself, little brother, John. I sat there, phone to my ear, feeling nothing and everything at once. Mr. Parrish? The attorney asked. Are you there? Yeah, I'm here. There's also a check, $25,000. Restitution for what he took. Keep it. Donate it to charity. I don't want it. Are you sure? Positive. All right. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you. I hung up. John was dead. After everything, after all the pain and destruction, he was just gone. I should have felt something, relief maybe, or closure. Instead, I felt tired. That night, I called the girls, told them about John. They were quiet. Are you okay, Dad? Bew asked. Yeah, honey, I'm okay. Do you want us to come visit? No, I'm fine. Really? After we hung up, I poured a drink and went outside. The mountains were beautiful in the twilight, purple and gold. I thought about John's letter, about forgiveness and anger and letting go. I'd spent so much time being angry, so much energy on revenge. And for what? John was dead? Beth was gone? The past was the past. Maybe it was time to let it go. I raised my glass to the sky. Goodbye, John, I said. I hope you found peace. Thunder rumbled in the distance, a storm rolling in. I finished my drink and went inside. The past was over. The storm would pass, and tomorrow the sun would rise again.